Hey NFL fans, before we dive into today's hottest stories, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update. From NFL News Now, the Dallas Cowboys walked off the field in Week 11 with that unmistakable swagger. The kind that hits differently when a team knows it didn't just win, it dominated. Under the bright lights of Monday Night Football, Dallas dismantled the Las Vegas Raiders in a performance that felt like a statement, a reminder, and maybe even a warning to the rest of the league. And now, for the first time this season, the Cowboys officially appear in the NFL playoff picture. It's not a clinch, not a guarantee, not even a comfortable spot, but it's a pulse. And after the roller coaster that's defined this 2025 season, a pulse is all Cowboys fans needed to start believing again. But let's be honest, we've heard this song before. We've seen Dallas shine one week, then stumble into confusion the next. The story of inconsistency has hung over this team like a stubborn cloud, always threatening to rain just when the sunshine starts breaking through. Still, with 7 games left and their record sitting at 5-1, the Cowboys are, in that magical NFL phrase, in the hunt. And being in the hunt in mid-November is often enough to launch a late-season surge that no one saw coming. Even Dak Prescott seemed energized in his post-game comments, telling reporters that it wouldn't be crazy to think this team could turn tragedy into triumph. That's a big swing, but Dak isn't exactly known for small visions. He's seen the highs, the lows, and the heartbreaks of this franchise. If he senses something shifting, maybe it's time to pay attention. As the Cowboys look ahead to the remaining schedule, it becomes clear that their fate is in their own hands, but that also means they have no one to blame but themselves if things go sideways. Week 12 brings the Philadelphia Eagles, a team sitting comfortably at 8-2 and looking every bit like a contender, capable of spoiling Dallas's hopes before they even get started. But the silver lining, the game is at home, and the Cowboys have historically played their best football at AT&T Stadium when the stakes rise and the crowd gets loud. Beat the Eagles, and suddenly Thanksgiving Day against the Kansas City Chiefs doesn't just feel winnable, it feels like a chance to flip the entire NFC landscape. Lose, and the playoff picture blurs again, just like it has so many times in the past decade. The rest of the schedule paints a complicated but not impossible road. The Lions in Week 14, tough, physical, and capable of handing anyone an ugly loss. The Vikings in Week 15, not an easy game, but definitely beatable. Then come the Chargers in Week 16, the Commanders in Week 17, and the Giants in Week 18. A 3-game stretch that sets up favorably for a Dallas team hoping to rack up wins late. 2 of those are division games against struggling opponents. And if the Cowboys enter that stretch with momentum, it could be exactly the scenario they need. Because let's be real, Dallas doesn't need perfection. They just need consistency, something that has eluded them all season. But for the first time in months, it feels like the Cowboys are starting to build an identity beyond their flaws. Part of that identity comes from a defense that suddenly feels like it's waking up. The revamped unit is showing flashes of the dominance fans thought they'd see from the start of the year. Fast, aggressive, disciplined, and for the first time in a long time, they're backing up the offense rather than leaning on it to carry the load alone. And speaking of defense, Week 11 wasn't just about the veterans. It was the long-awaited debut of rookie cornerback Shaven Revel, a player many Cowboys fans have been eager to see after his college career ended prematurely due to injury. After sitting, waiting, rehabbing, and grinding through the uncertainty of a lost final college season, Revel stepped onto the NFL field for the first time, and he delivered. Under the Monday night lights, with the pressure of a national audience and a year's worth of anticipation weighing on his shoulders, Revel admitted he felt the butterflies. But he also said something that instantly endeared him to fans. He didn't listen to the noise. He came prepared, locked in, and confident in what he could do, and it showed. Revel played fast, aggressive, and loose, the exact qualities you want from a young defensive back stepping into the fire for the first time. After the game, he spoke with reporters about how much the moment meant to him, giving major credit to his family for supporting him through everything. You could hear the emotion in his words. The kind of humility and hunger that give a fan base hope that the future of the secondary is in good hands. He even let listeners in on his pregame ritual, Eminem's Till I Collapse, a song that feels almost poetic for someone who fought through injury, doubt, and recovery just to get back onto the field. Revel said that once the game started, the butterfly stayed in the locker room. He took a deep breath, centered himself, and focused on the details. Yes, the game felt fast. Every rookie in NFL history has probably said the same, but he handled it. He showed that when the Cowboys need him, he can be counted on. And that's huge for a team fighting to stay alive in the playoff race. The big question now is whether the Cowboys can carry this energy into Week 12. The Eagles aren't just a tough opponent, they're the reigning Super Bowl champions, battle-tested and built for these moments, but there's something different about the Cowboys right now. You can feel it in the way they're communicating on the field, the way they're executing assignments, the way they're playing for each other instead of as a collection of individual talents. Their offense, led by Dak Prescott, is clicking with a blend of urgency and poise. The running game is finally finding lanes. The receivers look sharper. And the defense, especially with young players like Revel stepping up, is starting to resemble the unit fans hope to see. There's no denying it. The next 2 weeks will define the Cowboys season. Beat Philadelphia, and this team becomes a legitimate playoff threat. Beat Kansas City on Thanksgiving, and the Cowboys become one of the storylines of the year. A team that clawed back from inconsistency, injury, and early season frustration to build something special late. But all of that depends on focus, on grit, on refusing to let history repeat itself, because as exciting as Week 11 was, it won't mean much if Week 12 turns into another chapter in the Cowboys' long-running saga of inconsistency. Still, for now, hope is alive. The Cowboys are in the picture. The locker room feels unified. Young players like Shaven Revel are rising to the moment. The defense is surging. Dak is locked in, and with 7 games left, the Cowboys have everything they need: opportunity, talent, motivation, and momentum. Now it's just about proving they can sustain it. Keep watching as we analyze more details about some rumors. You're not going to believe this, but the NFL world is buzzing right now, and honestly, some of these whispers feel like they could shake the entire league. Imagine this: the Dallas Cowboys, yes, the Cowboys, are suddenly being tipped as absolute favorites in what many are calling the most anticipated matchup against the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, think about it. Just a few weeks ago, most analysts would have laughed at the thought. The Chiefs, with their high-powered offense and the kind of playoff pedigree that's almost untouchable, were expected to come in with confidence and control the narrative. But here we are, and things have shifted in a way that nobody saw coming. Sources close to team insiders are hinting that something is stirring behind the scenes in Dallas, something that might just tip the scales entirely. And it's not just about a few good practices or a lucky play in a preseason game. This feels bigger. It feels like a complete recalibration of expectations. The kind of sudden shift that gets sports talk shows buzzing and social media lighting up with speculation. Rumors have been circulating that the Cowboys' offense has been quietly transforming, and not in the way fans usually notice right away. We're talking about an offensive line that's reportedly gelling at an unprecedented level, creating holes and protection schemes that even seasoned NFL veterans say are surprising. And then there's the quarterback situation. Some insiders are whispering that his preparation has reached a level that suggests he's not just ready for the big moments, he's anticipating them. They say he's reading defenses with a clarity that wasn't there before, making adjustments on the fly that leave opponents scrambling. If this is true, and if it carries over into the game against the Chiefs, it could completely change the narrative of the season. Some analysts are quietly admitting that they might have underestimated the Cowboys, not just in terms of talent, but in terms of preparation and mental fortitude. On the defensive side, the Cowboys are reportedly playing a version of football that's turning heads. There's talk of a secondary that's suddenly versatile and aggressive, capable of both coverage and creating turnovers, and the pass rush, well, insiders claim it's hitting a new stride, one that could make even Patrick Mahomes think twice. We're hearing that the coaching staff has been experimenting with formations and blitzes that are unorthodox but frighteningly effective. There's even chatter that these strategies were developed in secret meetings, away from the usual prying eyes of the media and rival teams. People close to the team say this has fostered a level of unity and focus that's almost tangible when the players hit the practice field. Imagine a team that not only believes it can win but has created a game plan specifically designed to challenge the very strengths of the Chiefs. That's the level of detail we're talking about, and it's making people sit up and take notice. And here's where the rumor mill gets really interesting. There are whispers about the psychological aspect of this matchup. Apparently, the Cowboys have been working with specialists to create a mindset that's almost impervious to the hype surrounding the Chiefs. Some insiders hint at visualization techniques, mental conditioning, even unconventional methods to boost focus and confidence. It sounds almost like a sci-fi approach to football, but sources insist it's grounded in practical results. They claim the players are walking into meetings and practice sessions with a calm, unshakable confidence, something that is extremely rare in high-pressure situations. And when you combine this mental edge with what's reportedly a peak physical condition, the Cowboys might have crafted the perfect storm for a game that nobody expected them to dominate. Social media is, of course, ablaze with speculation. Fans, analysts, and even former players are dissecting every tweet, every interview, every bit of information that could hint at what's really happening behind the scenes. Some are cautiously optimistic, calling this a potential historic moment for the franchise, while others are warning about the danger of hype. But the underlying buzz is undeniable. People are starting to question whether the Cowboys are actually poised to take the Chiefs by surprise. There are even rumors circulating that certain sports books have shifted odds in favor of Dallas, which would be unthinkable just a few weeks ago. While we don't know all the details, the mere fact that betting markets are responding to these whispers adds a layer of credibility to the idea that the Cowboys might be more than just underdog hopefuls. They could be the ones setting the pace. And it's not just the players or the tactics. The narrative around the coaching staff is equally compelling. Rumor has it that they've been quietly reinventing their approach, blending traditional strategies with newer, more innovative concepts that keep opponents guessing. Some insiders suggest that there's been an intense focus on game management, situational awareness, and even exploiting psychological tendencies of rival players. If these whispers hold true, then what we're seeing is not just a team ready to compete, but a team that has systematically prepared to neutralize the Chiefs' strengths while maximizing its own. There's a sense of deliberate patience and planning here, almost like watching a chess master set up a checkmate several moves in advance. And if the reports of secret drills and unconventional training techniques are accurate, the Cowboys could be entering this matchup with a level of preparedness that even their most ardent supporters didn't imagine. Of course, with all of this, there's an undeniable element of risk and excitement. Rumors are rumors, and anything can happen in the NFL, where momentum can shift in an instant and a single play can change the trajectory of a game. But the sheer volume of reports, the consistency of the chatter, and the intensity with which insiders are discussing this suggest that something unusual is happening in Dallas. It's one of those moments in sports where the storylines start to feel almost cinematic. The underdog, or perhaps the overlooked powerhouse, suddenly positioned as the favorite, and the intrigue is amplified by the fact that this isn't being loudly announced or hyped by mainstream media. Instead, it's quietly building, piece by piece, through whispers, leaks, and the keen eyes of those close to the team. Fans are sensing it, commentators are feeling it, and everyone is starting to wonder, could the Cowboys really pull off something that defies expectation? Ultimately, what makes this scenario so gripping isn't just the matchup itself. It's the mystery, the uncertainty, and the possibility that the narrative of the NFL season could shift dramatically in a single week. If the rumors hold true, if the Cowboys' preparation, strategy, and mindset are as advanced as sources suggest, then we could be witnessing the birth of a legendary performance, one that might be talked about for years. And even if the whispers are just that rumors, the very idea that a team can rise from the shadows to become the favorite against one of the league's most formidable squads captures the imagination like few sports stories ever do. Every analyst, every fan, every casual observer is now paying attention, wondering if the Cowboys' under-the-radar transformation could be the story that defines this season. In a league defined by unpredictability, the idea that the Cowboys might walk into a clash with the Chiefs as favorites is more than just news. It's a narrative that practically writes itself, full of suspense, strategy, and a hint of audacity that makes sports so captivating. And as the speculation continues, one thing is clear: the NFL landscape feels different, charged with a tension and excitement that only grows when rumors hint at a seismic shift in power. The Cowboys, quietly, may have just positioned themselves at the center of it all, and the whispers suggest that what comes next could be nothing short of spectacular. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video and share it with your fellow NFL fans. Stay tuned for more updates. Only here on NFL News Now.